What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. I've just turned up to Limbrick fishery for an afternoon session, and call it good timing or call it bad timing, but the heavens absolutely opened and everyone on the lake just sort of like started getting backed up and cleared off. Now I was actually coming down to my peg when the heavens opened, so on one side all my stuff's absolutely soaking wet, and on the other side of the coin there's nobody else on the lake, so absolutely happy days. I've got it to myself. I'm in the peg of dreams and we're going to try and get a few carp on the bank. I did actually go to Gingham fishery first, but it was absolutely rammed. I don't know what it is about Gingham fisheries on a Sunday, but I can never get on. And like I said, it's an afternoon session. We're just coming up to 3 o'clock now, so I better get my skates on because it's going dark at 8 o'clock at the moment, so I've only got 4 or 5 hours fishing. I've got my chair set up. I think I might be all right not putting my brolly up. We'll have to see. If the heavens open again, I'll get my brolly set up, but I'm traveling ultra light. I've just got my rod bag with me. I've got my feeder chair and I've got my lighter feeder fishing rucksack with me and the Quorum unhooking mat. That is it. That's all I've brought. I'm going to be fishing one rod, I think. I might put a second rod out if we're really struggling on one rod. I've got a couple of new bits and pieces of tackle or terminal tackle to show you, which I think might be of interest to you. Other than that, there's not really any point to this video other than getting a few fish on the bank and having a chilled afternoon session. So let's get into the video, folks. Let's see if we can catch a few fish and have an enjoyable afternoon session. Well folks, I must be absolutely bloody mental because there's a storm coming in, a literal thunderstorm, but I'm still out here. This is the only chance I've got to come and have a session this week, so we're doing it. I'm going to be using my Guru Pro feeder rod today. Like I said, I'm going to start off on one rod, and if we're really struggling to get a bite, I'll swap onto 2 rods. I'm going to have a rod down here near the aerator, and the usual I'm going to swap between trying there and trying over to the far bank. You see this far banking over here where the reeds are? That's going to be my second line. So as I promised you in my 10,000 subscriber video, I'm only going to be using natural hook baits, okay, and plain pellets. That's all I'm going to be using. I'm going to be keeping it simple for the next few weeks. I'm going to have a break from the wafters. There's fish topping already, I can see that. It's a great sign. I spoke to the guy who was fishing behind me. He hadn't done much today. But to be honest with you, I've never really done well in that peg either, so I don't blame him, but I think we'll still manage a couple of fish. I'm hoping for a chunk or 2. So we need to get some pellets mixed up. That's first and foremost. We're going to get this wafter off because wafters are banned, and that's from the last session, so we're not using any wafters for the next few weeks. So what hook baits have we got? Well, I've got some good old corn, which we're going to be banding on. I've got a stick of hot and spicy pepper army. As we know, that is absolutely cracking bait. If you haven't seen my pepper army video, I recommend you watch that on the channel. That's a good video. I'm going to be probably primarily using the corn here. I think corn will do really well, but I'm also interested in trying little halves of pepper army, and we'll see how we get on. So something just occurred to me, folks, after I cut up that pepper army, is do they even allow meat here? And they don't, so we'll have to stick to the sweet corn for this session. Well, that was nice, folks, and probably the first time that's happened. The owners have just come over to me and thanked me for the videos, and you know how many people that have come off the back of the videos, so that's really, really nice of them. Plain halibut pellets, and we're going to do a 50-50 mix of those and the plain fish meal pellets. So that's what we're going to be using, plain fish meal and plain halibut, but we're not going to be using any artificial additives or anything like that. I have got some additives, but they're not artificial. So let's do a 50-50 mix of these. It's only an afternoon session, so I need to get my skates on, as I've said, otherwise we're not going to have much time. And I've just been talking to the owners for about I don't know, 15 minutes-ish. This is the view that you're going to have of me today, folks. I'm not going to be using my chest cam. I'm going to mix it up a bit, and we're going to have a little bit more of an interactive view today. Let's get our corn open. And like I said, we're not going to be using any additives, but let's add the juice from the corn, because these pellets will soak that up. So I'm rushing, but I don't want to spill it all over myself. Here we are. So juice from the corn's going in. It's going to give it a little bit of a flavour boost. Pellets, I'll give them another 30 seconds and they'll be fine. Right, so let me show you something that might be of interest to you. I found these, folks, and I think these are going to be so useful for people that struggle to tie up their own method feeder hook lengths. And they're called banded hook hairs. So what they are is a bait band which is tied to the shank of the hook with braid. Now don't worry if your fishery doesn't allow braided hook lengths. This is not the same thing. This isn't going to cut a fish's mouth open or anything like that. All this is doing is acting as a hair, and what you would do is you would tie your Guru Engage hook lengths or whatever hook length material that you like to use directly to the eye of the hook, and you can have them at whatever lengths you want. So if you want to tie up a 6-inch method feeder hook length, you can use these, and that's what I'm going to be using today. So all you do is you tie your hook length material to the shank of the hook using either a Palomar knot or a uni knot, and then tie a figure of 8 loop knot in the end. So as you can see there, that's what I've done. I've got a short section there of 12-pound Guru Engage hook length, which is tied to these Corum hook hairs. Okay, so I'm trying this out purely for the people that struggle to tie their own method feeder hook lengths, because this is a lot easier. You don't have to faff about tying the band on, and this hair is really supple. Can you see that? And that suppleness really helps throw the fish off, and they really do struggle to detect that. Now obviously you need to use a fairly big hook bait, but that'll be fine for my 8mm pineapple wafters or any of my 8mm wafters for that matter. That'll hold that on securely enough. A little bit of a plug there. Available at www.WestysAngling.co.uk. Even though I'm not using them today, we're using natural hook baits, as I've said about 6 times. And that is a size 10 barbless feeder hook. They're not as big as a size 10 carp hook, but it's still a decent size hook. Right, we've got our pellets ready there. I actually left these soaking way too long. I forgot about them. I was yapping to the camera, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I hope. My arch nemesis is behind me here. Duxon. I'm not going to squeeze these pellets tight into the feeder because I've over wetted them, so just laid the hook bait on top there. And that is the method feeder ready to go out. Check our drag there. I need it fairly tight because I don't want a fish bolting under that tree, snagging me up next to that aerator. And if we do get a bite here, it'll be absolutely savage. Well, this is my first time using natural baits at this venue, and I know that it's a very silty water. Could have done with that little bit of buoyancy, which is why corn I think will probably work better. A little bit lighter of a hook bait. I have been watching the water as well, folks, and I have seen quite a few fish topping over here in the bay, which makes sense because look at this wind that's picking up and it's blowing right down this side here. So if I don't get anything in the first 15 minutes under this tree, I will try over there. I was just laughing to myself before because I rocked up this afternoon and like I said, the heavens absolutely open and everybody just cleared off the lake as I was walking down. I've never seen people pack up so fast. Because we're on the clock, I've just made some slight adjustments. I've got my other rod out. I've got my 9-foot Shimano Speedmaster. Got 10-pound mainline on both of these because there's some absolute chunks in here, folks. And for those of you that are interested in the fishery, I will put a link in the description. I do like it here at Limbrick. I don't advertise every fishery that I go to anymore because some of the fisheries don't want to be advertised, believe it or not. So if you do ask me in the comments where am I fishing and I don't reply, that's why. So little trick of mine, if you want to use corn with a band, yes, you can just band it, that's fine, Sorry about the traffic. But what I find's better is if you hook your baiting needle through the band, stretch it out, pull the corn down, the band will actually expand inside the corn and stop it coming out, and it's completely hidden. That's about as incognito as you can get a hook bait, that. So I'm actually going to put that one down here where the other rod is, and put the 10-foot rod over here in the bay where I've seen some fish crashing for a little bit of an added boost. Still a natural scent, still a natural flavour if I can open it. But I've got some of my hydrolyzed liver there. That's pure liver, so nothing unnatural about that. So there we go, bit of liver on there. That'll get some proper sense in that water column. Swing that out the way for a second. If you're not confident in fishing 2 rods, folks, just fish 1, especially for the beginners out there. Now, we're getting to that time of year now where I love fishing. The rainy, cold weather is my favourite, because you'll find that all the summer fishermen stop fishing. The banks get extremely quiet, which is obviously great for filming. And who doesn't like a bit of peace and quiet when they come out fishing, folks? As you can see, look at how thick that hydrolyzed liver is. It's going to be great on the river there. Oh, this storm's coming. I'm going to go into this bay. If I can get a couple of fish in this session, folks, I'll be happy. While we're waiting for our first bite and we're waiting for one of these tips to get absolutely ripped round, and keep an eye on them, because it's when I'm talking to the camera that it usually happens. Let's have a little bit of a chat about my upcoming rod race. I'm going to call the rod race Westies Northwest Rod Race, and because it's the first one that I've ever done, I want it to be achievable, folks. And there's species, there's UK species of freshwater fish that I've never caught before, I've never tried to target before, I wouldn't have a clue where to start fishing from. So in a week it's just not going to be achievable, and I want this challenge to be achievable for the first one that I do. So I'm going to call it a Northwest Rod Race. I'm still going to have some challenging species on there, like grayling, like eels, but I'm going to exclude some species that we don't really get up north, like zander. Obviously I don't want to be going into Scotland and stuff like that, so I won't be fishing for char, I won't be fishing for salmon. It's just too much of a big ask on my own in a week to be able to get all these species. But like I said, still going to be some challenging fish on there, sturgeon, catfish, and pretty much every other single species of freshwater fish that you can catch in the northwest of Britain. So it's something that I'm really excited for, but also really apprehensive about, because it's going to be really intense. I'm going to fish every single day. I'm going to have to do full days, and obviously I've got to make sure my camera equipment's charged. I'm going to make sure that I download all the footage from the previous day. So it's going to be really intense, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good to challenge yourself, and before I start I will release the list of fish. So if you wanted to join me in it, you're more than welcome to do so. So I'll be releasing that list on Instagram and on Facebook and on the Facebook community group as well. So if you're not following me on those things, head over, I'll put links in the description, and you can follow me on WestysAngling, the Great Northwest Rod Race. I've got a favour to ask as well. If anybody knows which stretches on the Ribble hold grayling, please send me a private message, send me exact locations. It'll be a massive help for me. I don't want hearsay either, I want exact locations that you know grayling have come out, stretches that have produced them, because I'm probably going to only have a few hours in which to target that species. So I need to know that I've got a good chance. But if you just sit and think for a minute what kind of undertaking it is to try and get every single species in a week, I've got it sort of sketched out on where I'm going to be on what days, but it's still going to be tough. I like today's session actually. Can't believe I've not had a fish yet. Give it another couple of minutes and I'll recast. I've never had a bad session at this fishery in this peg. But I've always fished wafters. Yeah, we're in. We're in, folks. Got a feeling that other rod's just had a bit of a tug on it as well, so put my bait runner on. Started using my big corum net because I keep getting slated in the comments for using a small net. But I like my scoop net. I think it's a lot easier to net fish with. Look at how deep this net is. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's get this on the unhooking mat and get it unhooked. There we go, folks. So that shows you that those new Her Rig hooks work. Probably about £5 that one-ish. Let's get it back, get another. Look at how deep that net is, it's just ridiculous. No need for it to be that deep. It's all right for the river. Again, drawing it out with the baiting needle and then onto the band. Plenty of pellets on. Bit of liver. And we'll get this back over to that far banking. We're in again, folks. So now that I've found out that the fish are over there where I saw them topping before and where I thought they were, I'm going to take the other rod out of the water and just fish one rod. I don't want it to be too hectic on this session. And this tree's growing quite a lot to my right here, which is making the swim even tighter and even harder. So let's get rid of this rod out of the way without losing this fish. Well, the camera died there, folks. Luckily it wasn't a big fish, it was just a little common, so didn't miss much, but that went off pretty quick. So that liver is definitely doing its job and bringing them in. Oh no. Oh. I told you there was a storm coming in. Oh my god, everything's soaking. Oh, I can't even get the brolly over me. Oh, that cast was spot on. What am I doing? Look at this. I just cast over there on the far edge to the left. Obviously there's no pegs all the way around that side. Seeing loads of fish topping down there. Is this as heavy as it's rained on the channel? I think this is very, very close to that day at Mill Lodge. Dear me. Well, I hope you can hear me, folks, otherwise it's going to be voiceovers on this video. When rain gets in the mic on the GoPro, I sound all muffled like I'm underwater. But I need to sort this brolly out, keep an eye on the rod, put my bait runner on, watch the tip. Well, looks like I'm drying all my gear out in the garage later, doesn't it? So it's 4:30 now, and I'm probably going to fish through till 7, half 7, something like that. I'm guessing they'll want to shut up before it actually goes dusk, because this is it's a gated fishery, so I'm guessing they'll want to shut the gates before then. Usually get quite a bit of activity at your feet here at this fishery, close in the margins, but can't see any silk coming up. And I put some pellets down there before. I might have a crack down there before I go today. And if there's any carp move around this side, those few pellets will keep them in the swim. And I'll just keep dripping a couple of handfuls down there. What am I doing? Like, it's not like I can pack up now, is it? All I'm going to say, folks, is it's probably going to be voiceovers from now on, because you just won't be able to hear a word I'm saying. What do we think, folks? Is it just a summer shower? What an absolute numpty. You see, I can't even say, oh well, I didn't check the weather forecast. Oh, we're in. Feels like a better fish. I don't know what you can hear or what you can't hear. Yeah, it's a better mirror, this one. Good mirror there. Probably 8 or 9 pounds. I'm soaked through to the bone, folks, honestly. I've just brought this one over to the mat, which is more like a pond at the moment with all the rain. But look at that chunky thing. Probably about 9 pounds, something like that. The camera's absolutely soaking. I had to get a scale for it because this net's really big, but it's a chunk, no doubt about it. Another couple of hours, if I make it that far. Look, I'm absolutely drenched to the bone. I need to get myself a decent pair of waterproofs, I think. I need to get a new winter suit as well, because my salopettes, my Fox salopettes, they've ripped, so possibly because of how much weight I put on this year as well. I need to get my fat ass back into shape or get some bigger salopettes. Not sure which I'm going to do yet. Well, folks, if sticking it out in that weather isn't worth a subscribe, I don't know what else I can do for you. Oh my God. I am soaking from head to toe. And I'm definitely going to start getting cold soon as well. Let's see if we can get a few more fish on the bank. Obviously, all the fish today have been on the old corn. I would have liked to try the meats, but like I said to you before, it is banned at this fishery, so you're not allowed to use meats here at Limbrick. But that's why it's good to take a choice of baits with you. Yeah, before I start fishing, I always have a quick scan of the fishery rules. Obviously, being a fishing YouTuber, I fish that many places that all the rules just blur into one. And obviously, some things are allowed at some places that aren't allowed at others, and it can get confusing. So obviously, with the page getting so many views, I'm under so much scrutiny, and I've got to be so careful. Oh my God, that must be a good fish. I've got to be so careful about not breaking the rules, otherwise obviously the rule police come out, and I don't want to upset the fisheries either, do you know what I mean? Right, I'm going to have to stand up for this one, folks, and get it from round this verge. Good fish, this. even bigger than that last one. Oh. Now, isn't that worth braving the weather on the corn, on the natural bait? Whew. Right, I'm going to get it unhooked in the net, and then I'm going to take it over to the unhooking mat and we'll have a bit of a closer look at it, I think. See, this is why I take my dad with me. I need my chief photographer for my nice catches. I think, folks, that'll just go a double. Look at belly on it. That's what they're all like at Limbrick, that. Big bellies, nice pale mirrors. Chunk. About 2 foot wide that net, but about 6 foot deep. Oh, I am absolutely soaking. Drenched, squelchy shoes. You want to put your baiting needle through the open end of the corn, gently, just pierce the corn on the bottom, like that. Hook your band, stretch it out gently, then with your nail just push the corn over the band and allow that band to expand inside the corn, then gently pull the band into the corn. Now, can you see these hairs? Because it's a braided hair, not a braided hook length, I don't recommend using braided hook lengths on normal coarse fisheries because they can cut into the fish's mouths and stuff like that. But it's just acting as a hair, and it's so supple that the carp can't really detect it, gives it a lot of movement. That's why I think it's really good. And again, the banded hook hairs, they're called, foreign ones. Not sponsored, don't get anything for you buying them, just helping out the beginners out there, because it makes tying up hook lengths very, very easy. And I know that some people do struggle with it. You know, you might be getting on a little bit and you've got arthritis in your fingers and you're not quite as dexterous as you used to be with the old fingertips. You know, it can really help. And let's be honest, guys, shop bought hook lengths are nowhere near strong enough. I have lost so many fish off shop bought hook lengths. Now, that's not saying that I don't use them. In emergency situations, I 100% use them. There's loads of bubbling coming up just out from here. I really hope there's not water in the mic, folks. I hate doing voiceovers, I just think it ruins the video a little bit. Well, I'm in, folks. Over to that far left hand margin again. I don't think it's a big fish, this one. I tried down here at my feet for a little bit and I just couldn't seem to get anything, so we're definitely in those far margins. Or they're feeding a little bit more comfortably over there anyway. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to stick it out for, because it's getting cold now because of how wet I am. Just a little mirror in this one. Did you see that? The hook pulled, but it was already in the net. Little stocky mirror. Finally got one down here at my feet. Little greedy common. I say little, it's actually quite a decent fish. Not often that you catch commons at Limbrick, but chunky common there, probably about 6 or 7 pound, something like that. Well folks, the time's getting on a bit now. It's just coming up to about 7 o'clock, and while we've got a little bit of a gap in the weather, it's just a slight drizzle at the minute. I think I'm going to get myself packed up. But what a decent little afternoon session today's been. I've had a few nice fish. We're absolutely soaking wet through. Oh, yeah, we're in. Always when I'm doing the outro, folks, always. Ooh. Might be a good one to end on though. This camera battery's dying, so I'll switch you back on when we get a little bit closer. I just want to say, folks, if you have enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. There we go, nice little mirror. Going back. And I think that's a good fish to end on. Well, I never mind my outros being interrupted by fish like that. I just want to say, folks, if you have enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. It literally means the world to me. It's all you need to do to support the channel. And check out some of the other videos on the channel as well. If you've got any questions about anything that I've done today, please drop a comment in the comment section. I try and get back to any questions where I can. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling, and hopefully the weather's a little bit better. But like I said, even though I'm absolutely soaking wet through, I've still had a good afternoon and I'm glad I've come out. We'll see you next time, folks.